Okay, so I thought I would record a new what to do each week video for the spring semester. So I'm in Canvas. I'm logged in. This is the landing page, the home page for the course, and where most things happen is in this modules area. So you can either get there by clicking on that link to modules, that big green button, take your modules. I'll honestly just usually use that menu. Okay, and this takes you back to that page I was just at. Here are some course resources to use. There's a link. This is a page of online tools, applets that I'll direct you to as we come to them. Let me come back to my page. I've got some help hours if you want. You can go out here and schedule some live time with me. I'm not quite as available as like the tutoring.com site, but this is me, and what we'll do is you will use Zoom. I don't meet you in person. We use this online conferencing software. It's really good. It lets us share screens. It lets us write on the screens. We can do the math. I don't use video, like you won't see my face, because honestly, if I'm doing this from home, I have a really weak internet connection at home, and it doesn't support video. So you don't want to look at my ugly face anyway. So, okay, and what you do while I'm here, might as well do that. So what you can do is click on that live math help, and then I don't have any time slots today, but you can schedule up to 2 weeks in advance. And I think on Monday what's available. So you guys aren't going to be accessing me until the 21st or earlier. So, but what you do is see if that time works for you. Must have somebody already booked for Monday night. But here's the couple in the afternoon. I've been trying to alternate some afternoon, some evening. I share this time with my online high school students too. So that's why I use this Set More calendar. But let's say you want to meet with me 7:30, put your name in. Well, let's put my name in. How about Joe Fatabucci, the fictitious Oxbow student that I use. And then you want to give your email. This will let you get an email. You can set yourself up as a customer, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, you don't need to. Setmore is a perfectly safe website. But here, let me go ahead. Oops, be nice to. You don't really want to have to watch me type this all in. Here, why don't I pause it for a minute? I'll come back. Okay, so I've got this in. I got my email set up, and I made a comment about what I need, what I need help with. That's optional, but it certainly helps. It might help our time go a little faster. So then you click continue, and it'll say book my appointment. And then what happens? You should get an email from Setmore that says you booked your appointment. Let's see. Yeah, so that's the appointment scheduled. Just a reminder for you. You can add it to your calendar if you want. I think because I'm logged in incognito, I don't know if it. I'll get an email. And then when the time comes, shortly before our time, I'll send you a link to a Zoom meeting URL, and you can look at it. And that's why you want to make sure you get your Zoom set up on your device first. Make sure that's all working. And there's links back when you first make this up. And then what happens if you got to cancel? I'm not sure that you can cancel, but you can send me an email. And what will happen is I'll go back and cancel the appointment. I don't want to go to the schedule page because there might be other students' names here, and I'm trying to keep this FERPA legit. So, okay, so that's how you can get help from me. I encourage you to use me, and that's what I'm here for. So let's come back here. Let's go back and look at, here we go. Right, so let's go home. Modules. In my office hours. This, I'm going to point you to this. Some people like to watch a lecture. Dr. Stevens. The nice thing about this textbook is, let me see if I've got this open. This textbook is set up so that's almost like a set of notes that you can write. So what Dr. Stevens does is he walks you through all of these, he'll walk you through that. There's some your turn questions. Those answers are back here. I'll show you that while I'm thinking about it. It's right there in this course resources. See this? You think do your turn solutions? Those are all the answers to all those your turn questions in each of the chapters. So don't go posting your work to this. I mean, you have the answer. So what's the point? If you need help with it, by all means, post that. But we don't need to see the work for anything you've got an answer to. Let's see. Let's come back to the course. And there's the think do tables. And here's all of the. There's a set of summary worksheet questions. I'm trying to point you out what's available to you here. If you scroll down to the end of the chapter, let's see, actually, I think I can do it right here. Here's a summary worksheet, just some more practice for you to do. The answers to this can be found, answer to these questions are found right there. And then there's also some selected answers to any question with a problem sets in the book. And this is all ungraded stuff, folks. I'm not going to collect this for a grade. This is for your practice, for you to get mastery of this stuff before you take quizzes and tests on it. Anything that's got an asterisk with it in the problem set is going to have a detailed solution here. It's going to have a detailed solution here. And he does go into quite a bit of detail. So let's get back to the textbook now. This Dr. Stevens video lectures, if you go out there, Scott Stevens is a professor at Champlain College. He wrote this book. I like the way he thinks for the most part, and he's got all these great resources, and the textbook's relatively cheap, so that's why I went with it. But these are videos that he's walked through each of the sections and showing you how to do everything. I encourage you to do these. I get people have commented repeatedly about how useful this is. So I just want to point this out to you. You can find it, Stevens Stats will pop up if you don't have the link, but I have it right here in the course. Okay. Okay, so that's all those course resources that stays up there. Now you also notice how all these things are kind of bulky. You can hide those by clicking on those triangles. And then week 0, of course, you're watching this video because you've been there. So I won't go into there. You do the introductions forms. You can post there. I've got a student that posted this already, so I'm not going to click on that. But here's week 1, and this is what you were looking for and why I was making this video. So what do you do each week? Each week I'll have an overview. It shows if there's a quiz, I'll have it right here. What we're going to cover for content. Ungraded, which talks about the WebAssign stuff, talks about Myopenmath, and then the discussion forums. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. I just see I got a fall date here. I'll have to change that. So yeah, I'll do this each week. So is your quiz this week? I would certainly look at that. What are we covering that week? I would look at that. And the rest of it stays pretty much the same week to week. Here's that optional Myopenmath practice. Problems in a different context. People that do well in this course tend to do those questions. If you don't, you can do some of them and just don't finish it. If you want it to count for a grade, let me know and I'll add it into your Canvas grade. It doesn't automatically get loaded. Now the discussion forums are so what do I do? Go do the reading, go watch Dr. Stevens lectures, try the WebAssign problems. Those are graded. Try the Myopenmath problems if you want. By Saturday of each week, you owe me 1 discussion forum post. What does a discussion forum post look like? Well, elsewhere, you've probably seen I've written about this or I've spoken about it. And what you can do is you're going to interact with us around math. It can be questions about help. I need some help doing this. You know, it can be a Myopenmath, it can be a WebAssign, it can be a textbook question. Be good to show us what you've tried already, because that'll help. That'll help us speed it along, and really will give you better benefit, better help on this. I've had people just say, "I don't know how to do this problem." That's okay, but if you're always posting that, you know, we're not helping you. I won't if it's an exercise that you've got answers to. Right, these start exercises, and you just want to post work to get the points. That's okay. I probably won't say right or wrong. If you do one of these ones that are are unstarred, well, those you don't have the answers to, and those I'll give you feedback. If you did them right, I'll say, great, good, nice job. If you make a mistake, I'll show you how to do it. Okay. You can post work to Myopenmath, but because Myopenmath, you've got or WebAssign, because you've got the answers already, you don't, you know, I probably won't say right on in order to say it's correct. But so what I chose to do for you, because there's a limited number of these unstarred exercises in the chapters, what I decided to do is do a problem that's a WebAssign question. Okay, so let me get that set up, and then I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so now the first discussion forum post is due Saturday night each week. So this will be due once I'll fix that date in a minute. And it says it's going to be due. You have to make your first discussion forum post by Saturday the 25th, and then your second discussion forum post needs to happen by Monday the 27th. You miss those deadlines, you don't get the points. Okay. So you can do them both early if you want. I would encourage you to do the work early. You'll thank yourself that you did. But so how do you make a post? Well, I've got this video that I recorded. I won't click on that or go to that page. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click a reply here. It's good to put, I'm taking this problem. Well, I should show you where I got it from. So I went out and did the part of the WebAssign assignment. It's a very class question. This gives people a hard time, so I thought I'd do it. You see on my screen how those numbers are in red? That means there's a randomization. No one else will have those numbers. They're unique to you, so that's why it's important to show some work. You can screen capture this if you wanted to and insert that image. Or what you'll see what I did is I wrote some numbers down and did this. So the other thing that's very important is to say, tell us where this problem came from. Is it kind of come out of the textbook? If so, what page, what exercise number? This has come from WebAssign problem set 1, and this is number 7. And then you can either attach a file here. The bad thing about attaching is then somebody's got to download it. I would encourage you, if it's a PDF, that's kind of what you got to do. If it's an image, like you took a picture with your phone and you saved it on you get it on your computer, or you're doing this from a phone or a mobile device, you can just upload it here. I'm going to show you how to upload. So I'm going to embed this image. I've got to go to Canvas. I'm going to go to My Files. Oh, it's interesting that you have the course files available as a student. Oh well. So I'm going to upload that file to my course files. I saved it on my desktop. Let's see here. Here it is. And it uploads, depending on how fast your internet connection. Now, some things to look at is this is the size of the file. This is the dimensions of of my image. If this is like 1200 by 1500, something like that, it's going to be way too big for the page. We won't be able to see it. Size that works well is 700 by whatever. This is within that range, so I'm not going to adjust it. And the aspect ratio means, so this is the height, this is the width, or maybe I've got this up backwards. But anyways, I think this is the height and this is the width, or it could be the width and the height, and I honestly don't remember right now. Width, height, I think is what it is. Around 700 to 900 works pretty well on my screens, at least. It gets much beyond that, it's just too big an image, and it won't show well. Okay, so you can edit this. So if I wanted to edit this, the nice thing about this, I could change this to 700, say, and you see how it automatically keeps the aspect ratio the same. So that's the ratio of the length to the width. HD versus standard television, if you want. What I have is fine, so I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. If you were to not keep that ratio, that's when your image gets really looking weird, like it'd be stretched out one way, or maybe you've done that if you've done some image editing. So I'm gonna update that file, and you see there's my work. See, I was actually being organized and I put that. So there's my work for the first two. And then for the last one, that's the question that gives people a hard time. Let me come back and point that out to you, because this might help you out. Which one of these is not true? Well, 8 is big. 8 is 2 times as big as 4, so that one's true. The attrition rate is 4 percentage points greater. Well, yeah, 8% is 4 percentage points bigger than 4%. Then this is where people give a hard time. They want to say, well, yeah, I mean, well, it's twice as big, so it's 200%. Well, the problem with that is this is a percent change problem. Here, about we're doing a little math and teaching you how to do what to do. The percent of change problem is always the new value minus the old value divided by the old value. Then you times that by 100, right? You're always related back to what it used to be. And then times it by 100. So for this case, it was 8% minus 4% is equal to 4. And I'm going to divide it by 4 because that's the old value, and times that by 100. Well, that is 100%. So the percent of change, why is not typing coming through, times 100 equals 100%. So that is, if you come back and look at that math, that WebAssign question, here, let's come back to it. That was, see, it was 100% greater. Well, it wasn't 200% greater. That would have to have been, I would have had to have a change of 16 minus 4 to get, or 12 minus 4 would have been a change of 8, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. That would have been 200%. Okay, so that's how that works. I'm going to post this. So, and that, I mean, if you wanted to do something else with this, add something in, I could. Then if you want to comment, if you want to reply, somebody's going to replying, like if somebody says, hey, I need help with this, you can reply right to their post and it'll become threaded right here so we can follow that thread. If you don't have anything to add to somebody else's post, just come up here and reply to my original one. Okay, and it really works well. I mean, interacting online, this is how we do it. And you don't have to stand up in front of people to participate in class. It's a great thing. Okay, so I guess that's it. I think this video is probably long enough. We covered everything. I'll have the quizzes here for the next week. I usually have these. I'm not sure if I said this in this video, so I'm going to say it again. This week 1 will become available on January 18th, the Saturday before the course starts. Week 2 will open up for you Saturday the 25th, which is 3 days before the end of week 1. So I encourage you, please, 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 start the course on Saturday the 18th. That way you can get through this work. You'll be all done by the end of that weekend, or if you do your work on the weekends, and most people do because you're so busy, that way you can get the week 1 done before the course even starts, or if you need to go into a little bit into the weekdays, you certainly can. And then you'll be able to start week 2 before week 2 even starts, and that will set you up to be able to spend some time, because when we get to a tough, difficult topics, a tough week, you'll have that extra time to get some help and learn the material. Deadlines do not help people. Okay, so you gotta kind of beat those deadlines. All right, long enough video. I'll get this uploaded.